Hey, good afternoon. Christy Mattoon here from Mind Rewire and Beyond Heart Coherence. I'm a little wiped out because I am wiped out. I just now came in from the hot sun. I think it's over 95 degrees outside right now, and I was pulling weeds by hand and pulling up some rocks and doing some stuff. Kind of my normal, trying to get my yard in some semblance of order. And the reason I'm making this video is because I'm just dumbfounded by people right now. I'm just really dumbfounded. I don't even know what else to say. And depending on what side you land on, this video may make you angry and you'll want to call me or send me emails, and just don't, because I won't respond to you. Or you'll just be like, yeah, and you'll agree with what I'm saying, because it's definitely turned into there's a dividing line in the argument, right? So I'm out pulling weeds, and what happened was a neighbor came walking by, and he had been out in his yard spraying his weeds with his poison, and he brought his spray thing of poison over, and he goes, here, let me spray your weeds. And I was like, no, don't spray anything. You're not spraying my weeds. Some of these weeds are actually things I use for medicine. I showed you that in another video. And other ones, like I want to, have out of the yard, but I don't want the land poisoned. And he looked at me like I was a lunatic, and then went on to drag me across the street. He's an older man, so bless his heart. I was trying to play the game. I went across the street with him, and he showed me his yard and how green and lush his grass is. And I don't have any grass. So I was just like, there's really no comparison what we're talking about here. We're talking about a yard full of rocks and weeds going through the plastic undercoating, right? And the plastic's horrific also in my mind. So I'm pulling the plastic up and shoveling the rocks off, and taking weeds out that I want out, and moving other ones, literally moving other ones, right? And I'm going to spray your weeds for you. And I'm like, no. And, he showed me his backyard, and I was just like, oh my goodness, whatever. And it was beautiful. I have to admit, his yard was amazing. It's totally just green grass. That's all there is green grass. Look, no weeds, no weeds. And I'm like, awesome for you, but you can't eat anything here. Like, the plants in my yard, I eat. I do things with. I try to utilize them. My yard right now is going on, I'm going to guess, a year and a half-ish of no poison, because I'm only assuming the people before us, they were only here for 6 months, and it was mostly wintertime, so maybe not. But mostly no poison, right? And definitely for the last year and a half, no poison on this land that I've put here, okay? So, I'm just like, and trying to explain to him, or trying to talk to him about glyphosate, he totally just ignored me and just went on about whatever he was talking about. And it's just like, seriously. And this is the same conversation I had with somebody the other day, because they wanted to tell me all about their getting the vaccine experience. And I was just like, I totally disagree with it. Like, do you want more information? And she's like, it doesn't matter now, I already took it. And I was like, well, touche, good point. And went on to tell me this whole story. And I'm like, if you already took it, I really don't want to hear the story. There's nothing I can do for you. There's nothing. And she's a healer. Like, she knows. She knows. She even said when they went to jabber with it, she could feel it. And she knew. And she did it anyway because she wanted to travel. Choices, right? So she made choices. And that's fine. It's totally fine, right? Your choice is your choice. But to, stand there and keep telling somebody and trying to justify what you did or what you're doing, and then not listen to the other side of it, is frustrating for people like me who, like, I'm not going to take the vaccine, but does she want to hear why I don't want to take it? Nope. Don't want to hear it. Does he want to hear why I don't want glyphosate in my yard? Nope. Doesn't want to hear it. But he'll tell you every reason why he uses it on his. I'm just like, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. And I guess it's the brainwashing, and I keep trying to remind myself of that. It's the brainwashing we've all gone through. And even on social media, all of these platforms, right? Even LinkedIn finally did it the other day. They pulled somebody, a guy, he actually is the guy who originally made the mRNA technology. Like, he created this crap and said it wasn't meant for use the way they've used it. That's not what it was meant for, right? He created it for whatever reason. They were experimenting with junk, and then, right? And it's a bioweapon, right? If I can't say that word on this channel and this gets pulled, right? It's just censorship at its finest. That's where we're at right now, is everything's being censored. Your right to speak, your right to say, I don't want glyphosate in my yard, your right to say the vaccine is wrong, it's a mess, right? We're causing more issues than we're helping. People don't want to hear it. They don't want to look at other numbers. They don't want to look at other studies. They don't want to look at the doctors who are doing studies on the people who have had it and had issues. They don't want to hear about the lady whose daughter got it because the mom thought she was doing the right thing and made a choice on her 12-year-old daughter's behalf, and now her 12-year-old daughter will never be the same again. Right? Totally wrecked this child's life. Perfectly healthy person, perfectly healthy people dying, but they don't want you to know about those people. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to hear about that, right? They want to travel. They want to do. When you take these vaccines, when you don't stand up for yourself, you're creating a whole nother ball of wax for everybody else on the planet. We know that they're bioweapons, and I don't know if I can say that word on this channel or not. I don't know what's allowed anymore. I don't even care anymore. The issue isn't what you say or how you say it. The issue is what they want you to know and what you allow. Does that make any sense? I can scream stuff from the mountaintop, which I haven't. I've tried to stay in the boundaries of heart coherence, and I didn't do that on LinkedIn. I mean, on Instagram. It's why I left Instagram, because I started getting shadow banned, just like I got shadow banned for being anti-vaxxer on Facebook. Right? My channel on Facebook, Mind Rewire, was shadow banned years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago. And I'd get a few people, right, that were in and out, that were always there. But by and large, for having 10,000 people, 8,000 to 10,000 people on that channel, nobody ever saw what I put out. It was crazy. And I was just like, I didn't understand it until I heard somebody else saying that they had got shadow banned and then explained what it meant. And I was like, oh, that's real. That's exactly what happened. I was like, screw Facebook. I'm out of here, right? So I quit doing Facebook. And then the same thing with Instagram. I was just like, seriously, like, you cannot say my voice doesn't matter, right? Even in the oh good Lord, what the election, the last election, you know, your voice matters. Your voice. Blah, blah. I actually got a letter in the mail. And I was still on Facebook at this point, and one of my nieces, you know, tried to rake me over the coals for saying something about my voice doesn't matter. And she's like, you voted like it, and gave me kind of the business. And I was like, whatever. And I slapped the piece of paper that I got in the mail up that said, your voice didn't count. Your vote didn't count because we can't verify your signature. What? I walked in there. I walked in this place. We were in a tiny little community. I walked in that place and put my vote in. I didn't mail it in. I didn't do any of that other stuff. I walked in the building and did it, and it still didn't count. So don't tell me that we're not being censored. Don't tell me that I can say what I want to say and that what I say matters. Right? I think it does matter, and especially to some people, but you are being censored, whether you think you are or think you're not. The things that you say, right, if people aren't seeing certain posts, that's shadow banning. It is, right? And if they're not shadow banning you, you almost have to wonder why. It's starting to get a little bit scary, in a funny sort of way. And I don't know, I do more heart coherent stuff. And I mean, how does heart coherence play into all of this? It keeps you at peace. Right? Even when everything seemingly is going wrong and you understand. So right now I'm teaching a class on the 7 laws of the universe. And it's interesting because when you understand those, especially the law of polarity, you'll understand the ups and downs. It's like, okay, this is just one of those spaces where, you know, it's dipped a little bit lower, but I know that a rebound will happen because of it, because that's just the way it works. That's the way the law works. It's the way it's set up. So I don't know, man. I'm just watching people and going, think, read. Do your homework. Look stuff up. Don't be afraid to look for information. And if you don't know what to look up, start with simple things, right? Whatever the topic is you're looking for, use those words. Don't just look on Google, or don't look on Google. Go to somewhere that's not censored, like DuckDuckGo or some other thing like that. Google is censored. There are certain things you cannot find on there anymore, or it's altered. However they put it up there, it's been altered so it reads the way they want it to. You can't deny this anymore. We see it happening far too often. President Trump actually just now put out a huge thing. He's suing Google, Facebook, Instagram. I think that's the three. Google, Facebook, Instagram, maybe YouTube. I'm not sure which all three, but he's suing, right? And there's layers to it. There's going to be definite layers to it. And it's just so interesting. It's like in a country where we have a constitution that guarantees our freedom of speech, we don't have freedom of speech. And this is one of the reasons I'm making this video, is because I'm really sick and tired of sitting down and going, okay, I need to make a video. I'll just do it on my garden today, because I don't know what I can say and what I can't say. I don't know what's going to get a bad reaction, and I get, I've gotten emails from different places saying, oh, we took that down, or you can't post this, or you'll just, right, get the information on the site itself, which was what Facebook was doing at the time. It's just insane. But if you participate, if you don't put your voice out there, if you don't say what you need to say, you're not helping the problem. You're not helping create a solution. You're actually causing more of the same thing to happen vibrationally. Vibrationally, right? So if we're going back into talking about heart coherence and energy, if you want to create a world that you want to live in that isn't full of all of this crap that we're looking at right now, how do you do that? You have to live the thing that you want to see. I want to see an open dialogue. I want to see people be able to put out what they think. I want to see people be able to talk about what they want to talk about. I just watched a clip out of Virginia. It was a school board meeting, and the school board, it was, public opinion and whatever. They could come up, the public could come up and say what they wanted to say. Open mic night kind of thing. And they were, until, the people were literally laying it on them. They don't want critical race theory. They don't want some of the things, the sex ed that's being taught in these schools is crazy. If you haven't seen it, look that one up. They don't want this stuff taught to their kids. They want, because this critical race theory, what is it teaching? This is another one I probably can't talk about on here, but it's teaching people to hate each other because of their color. And we were taught not to do that. Right? Look beyond the color. What's the person like? Who's inside there? Right? And so these teachers were talking, or not the teachers, the school parents were talking about this. They turned their microphone off. And this is happening all over the place. It's not the first one of these I've seen recently. They turned the microphone off and called the cops in. And these people were being arrested. Just because they were saying, no, we don't want this. They want the board to step down so they can get a new board that will actually listen to them. They won't even have a conversation about it. It's not that they're disagreeing and just having an issue. They won't even listen. What does that mean? How does that work, right? How is that going to help anything? It's not going to help anything. So the open conversation is the key to all of this, right? Being able to listen to each other and understand, right? Openly listen, not just listen and then throw out your, right? Which is what's happening. It's just ugly right now. I don't know. I'm not putting glyphosate on my yard. I'm not putting the jab in my arm. I won't be among the counted. I'll fight over some of these things, and I've said that before. You can't poison us to the extent that you have, right? Wrecking out people's bodies and people's lives, and with the, not only the food poison, the chemical poison, the energy poison, right? You're poisoning our airwaves with this 5G nonsense that everybody knows isn't what you said. It was not helping our phones, mobile boost, whatever, I don't even know. It doesn't, mine is not any different. In fact, it's probably worse if it's anything. My internet cuts out in and out more often than it ever has before, right? We've got these stupid towers all around us now. And the energy that's in the air just is not lovely. In fact, I think it's intensifying the heat, which is weird. And I haven't heard anybody else say that yet, but I really do. The heat, even if it's 80 degrees out, it feels so freaking hot. And I think it's the the waves coming off of those towers, that it's energy, it's whatever energy it's putting into the air, it's not only messing with your electromagnetic signal, because you are an electromagnetic signal, you've got many of them in your body. It's not only messing with that, it's messing with the electromagnetic signal of things coming through into this planet, right? The messages coming in, like from the sun, right? Which is why 80 degrees feels so much hotter than it actually is. I don't know, just my thoughts. Comment below. End rant. That was a rant. End rant.